Hi there. So in today's video, I am going to talk to you about our stay at the Raffles Dubai. It's a really fantastic luxury hotel, and even though it's not necessarily positioned as a family hotel, we found that it was very, very family friendly, as well as just luxurious and fabulous. So stay tuned. I'm going to tell you all about it. By the way, if you'd like a free copy of the Top Flight Family Travel Guide to Kid-Friendly Dubai, just go to topflightfamily.com/go Dubai. Many thanks to Raffles Dubai for hosting us on this trip. So just in case you're not as familiar with Raffles as some of the other luxury hotel brands, Raffles actually started with one legendary hotel in Singapore, the Raffles Hotel. That was the original. And since then, they've expanded around the world, and the Raffles Dubai is actually their very first property that they opened in the Middle East. So one of the great things about this property is its location. So it's a very popular hotel amongst business travelers because it's essentially right in the financial district. It's also only about 15 minutes from the airport, so that makes it super convenient. Now for family travelers, it's still a great location because, again, it's close to the airport. Although it's not like an airport hotel by any stretch of the imagination. But it is also close to quite a lot of malls. The closest one is Wafi Mall, which is kind of shaped like a pyramid. And this mall is particularly good if you're traveling with kids because there's so many cool like kid-friendly attractions there. There's like a mini golf course. There is a like big swimming pool and lazy river at the mall. And then there's also something called La Crèche, which is essentially a little childcare service where you can drop your kid for I think up to 3 hours. So that's a great chance for you to drop your kid, maybe do some shopping or get a nice lunch with your partner, and then pick them back up when you're done. So the Wafi Mall is, as I mentioned, shaped like a pyramid. And so when the Raffles first opened, they actually also echoed this pyramid shape and went with a whole Egyptian theme. So as you're pulling up, I will tell you, it looks a little bit on the gaudy side. There are big like sphinxes outside. It's kind of reminds me a little bit of, I think it's called Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas, that Egyptian themed casino hotel. So as you're pulling up, you might be like, wow, really? Okay, are we in Vegas? But once you step inside, you'll find that it's actually very tastefully done. So they do still carry on that Egyptian theme decor inside the lobby, but it's a lot more subtle, and the lobby is just beautiful. It's very, very grand, huge soaring ceilings, a really nice water feature that's pretty stunning as soon as you walk in. So it definitely has that real sort of sense of like those grand lobbies, like the great casino hotels in Las Vegas and in Macau. So one thing that the Raffles is definitely known for in Dubai is having some of the largest rooms in the city. And the one that we stayed in was room 930. And this was even larger than their typical rooms because we actually stayed in a Diplomatic Suite. And this was, wow, this is definitely a very, very impressive room when you come in. There's a huge living dining room, floor to ceiling windows, basically a wraparound deck outside, and you have incredible views of the Dubai skyline. So you can look at the Burj Khalifa standing right outside the deck. The decor is really, really nice. Still has a little bit of sort of that little bit of the Egyptian decor, but very understated. Definitely mixed in with a lot of like Middle Eastern references, influences. And the bedroom is gorgeous. There's a nice desk area, which was really useful for me because when we go on these trips, I do have to, you know, do quite a lot of work while we're there. So it's really useful to have a dedicated area for that. The bed was fantastic. So my husband Serge, as you may have seen in the videos, is a tall guy. He is 6'2". When we first met, he told me he was 6'3", but somehow over the years, it's gone down to 6'2", so I don't know what that's about. Anyway, so he's a tall guy, and if you're tall, you will know that one of the things that you have to deal with a lot with beds is your feet hanging off the edge. Now this bed, I don't know exactly what size it is. Maybe, I don't know if it's California King, maybe those are longer, but it was so big that Serge could actually, his whole body fit on the bed. His feet were not dangling off, so he was definitely very happy. But it's just a gorgeous bed, very comfortable, beautiful upholstered headboard. And the bathroom is beautiful. You've got this deep soaking tub, and I really love the like pendant lamps that were hanging above. Has that kind of little bit of a Middle Eastern flair to it. And this shower was like on another level. It was so comfortable. Both the rain shower was fantastic, and then also the handheld was so good. But if you're interested in getting the full room tour, I will link to that video in the description of this one. But I basically take you on a whole walk through the room if you want more details on that. So Raffles Dubai, as I mentioned, is really positioned more as a hotel for business travelers because of the great financial district location. It really caters well to business travelers. But we found that even though it doesn't necessarily position itself outwardly as a family-friendly hotel, it was really great for families as well. And I think one of the best examples of that is Azur, which is the restaurant where they serve their breakfast buffet. So one of the things is actually pricing, which is great. So kids under 5 eat for free. I'm just checking my notes here. And then kids between ages 6 and 11 eat at half price. So that is always good for families because, you know, if you have kids, you know that sometimes they'll only eat like, you know, one piece of a croissant and that's it for breakfast. And it's very painful to pay the full price for a buffet when they're only eating like one Mandarin slice. So that is definitely really helpful. I also love the fact that they have this whole little station that is just for kids. So it's got like plastic bowls, plastic plates, plastic cutlery. It's got the kids cereal, you know, all the sugary cereals that I only let the girls eat when we travel, not during school days. And then one thing the girls were particularly enamored with, of course, was the candy that was on this cart. And so, you know, of course, as a parent, you don't necessarily want them eating candy for breakfast. So I told them that essentially they could each take 3 gummy worms to go when we were done with breakfast. And so they were there, you know, trying to like scoop it out with the scoop. And one of the restaurant managers came over and he's like, "Oh, let me help you." And what he did is he ended up tipping the entire jar of gummy worms into their cups. So they were absolutely delighted by this, of course. But the food is fantastic. One thing that I really loved about Dubai is that they have such a mix of cuisines at the breakfast buffets. So you've got the usual sort of like Western dishes, you know, eggs, sausage, bacon, stuff like that. But then some of the hotels like this one also had a great little Asian station. So you had like dumplings and buns and things like that. I guess they have a lot of travelers, presumably from China, I would think. But then they also have so many great like Middle Eastern and then also like South Asian dishes. And it's just really refreshing to be able to have those kinds of flavors at breakfast because typically most breakfast buffets really just focus on sort of the Western or European dishes. So another thing that really impressed us about Raffles Dubai when it came to catering to kids is when we checked in that evening, it was really, really late and we'd had an enormously long day. I think we did like 3 different excursions or activities that day. And on the way to Raffles, there was like a huge traffic jam. So we were stuck in traffic for ages. So by the time we got to the hotel, Serge and I were exhausted. The girls were even more tired and grumpy. And so when we got there, the first thing we did was have dinner at Solo, which is one of the restaurants on property. And as we were sitting, you know, everyone was really tired and exhausted. The girls were like not feeling their best. But then the restaurant actually surprised them with chef's hats and little kid-size aprons and told them that they were actually going to learn to make pizza with the chef. And so the girls absolutely loved this. They got to roll out their dough and put sauce on and the cheese. They got to use the big paddle and put the pizza in the oven. And then, of course, when they were all done, they got to eat their own work. And so this was really fantastic. Now, obviously, this is probably not kind of something that comes standard, but if it's something that you're interested in, your kid experiencing, it's certainly something that you could request when you make your reservation. So another thing that was really, really cool was we were in the room one afternoon and the doorbell rang. And we opened the door and room service basically surprised us by bringing in cupcake decorating kits for the girls. So there were these freshly baked cupcakes and icing and sprinkles and toppings. And so the girls got to actually decorate their own cupcakes and eat them. And that was really, again, such a lovely surprise and something that's like so fun for kids. So again, if that is something that you would be interested in, you could definitely call the front desk or call room service and see if that's something that can be arranged for your kids as well. So if you're going to be staying at the Raffles Dubai, another thing that you don't want to miss is the spa. The spa is fantastic. It's just a great facility. So there are a couple of different relaxation rooms. There's even a small outdoor pool if you'd rather relax by the pool for a little bit. And so Serge and I actually booked it's called the Rose Indulgence treatment, which is a couples treatment. So you have a private room where there's a whirlpool bath. And so you start with a 30-minute soak in the whirlpool bath, super relaxing. They provide really delicious glasses of green juice, a nice fruit plate, so you can, kind of nourish yourself a little bit while you're having the bath. And then it's followed by a 60-minute massage, which was so good. Man, this massage bed, I don't know like what brand of massage beds that they use at the Raffles Spa, but it's seriously the most comfortable one I've ever laid on. The mattress is really, really thick and the whole thing felt so solid. So it was like both really solid and like incredibly comfortable at the same time. So the Raffles Spa is definitely something to check out. So all in all, I would definitely recommend Raffles Dubai. It is a hotel that's in a great location. The rooms are huge, which is fantastic for families. And also the food is great. In addition to Solo, which is the Italian restaurant we ate the first night, and then Azur, which is where they serve the breakfast buffet. They also, I think, do lunch and dinner buffets there. There are a few other restaurants that are really good. Raffles Salon is known for having great afternoon tea. And then also there's a Japanese restaurant called Tomo, which is supposed to be fantastic too. Now, due to the lack of time, we weren't able to try those two. But just know that if you're staying at the Raffles, you will not go hungry. It's really, really great food all around. So yeah, all in all, I would definitely recommend it. As I mentioned, I do give you a full room tour of the Diplomatic Suite in a separate video, and I'll be sure to link to that below. To see more from this trip, click the link to watch our complete Dubai travel vlog. Top Flight family received complimentary accommodations, meals, and spa treatments.